Hello, and welcome to this episode of The Circularists, where I am so excited to be talking to and interviewing Ed Moore. If you would look through Ed's profile, you'll see that he has, for his education and teaching of the very young, he has won no less than 15 different accolades and awards. One of those pieces of recognition have come from Buckingham Palace. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. So I was one of the Coronation Champions. I was one of the 500 volunteers to be awarded a really prestigious certificate and a pin.
What does that pin say about you?
I'm just really passionate. I'm really passionate about the environment and empowering young people to, stand up and have a voice, make their world a better place for themselves, but also for the future generations.
From your LinkedIn activity, you ooze passion and commitment, and you're on all of the topical issues of our time. So I'm going to hand over to you and let you do your introduction to tell it best. Who you are, what you do, what your vision is, where you're going.
My name's Ed Moore. I'm an eco coordinator at a school in Dorchester, and I've literally taken my school from not knowing anything about the environment, to complete blank canvas, to one of the top eco schools in the country. And it's taken about 11 years to get to where we are now. And the vision is to keep on empowering young people to have a voice, to support other schools within our area and across the country, and especially across the world, and to help support as many schools as possible to become net zero.
So 11 years ago, you began this journey. When you looked left and right, was there anybody else doing this? Were you a lone voice, or did you have company?
Yeah, pretty much a lone voice. I literally started my teaching as well. It was in my what was known back then as my NQT year, and amazing. They were amazing. The school had these amazing grounds, but they didn't have a garden. So I spent my summer holidays, every holiday, I designed and built the school garden. From that, I built 2 or 3 more gardens. Went out into the community gathering seeds and plants and anything that I could get my hands on that people would be happy to donate, trawling around Dorset, around allotments and meeting lots of wonderful people, trying to get them to help support like the growing of fruit and veg, because children just didn't know where their food came from. They thought it came from the supermarket, and that really was the starting point of our journey.
It's the perfect teaching tool. Nature is the perfect teaching tool for our environment, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. They learn so much getting outside, into nature, learning from nature, but also about nature. For them to, taste vegetables that they've never tasted before, or be able to understand that there is a yellow courgette and a green courgette. There's a carrot's not always orange; they're also purple and whites, and and to be able to link that to diversity as well is a real powerful tool.
Oh, amazing. Backing up, you talked about your school being an eco school. What is an eco school? What does that mean?
Making sure that we're reusing items, we're reducing what we use. Food waste goes into a big digester, and we make compost for our school gardens. We've got about 90%, I would say, of our school grounds are like biodiverse, welcoming in like the birds, butterflies. And I suppose it's educating children about their environment and about nature.
Are these young children aware of the danger that we're in? Because eco angst is a real thing. How do you manage their mental health and the sensitivity around this whole matter?
Yeah, so they 100% know what's going on, whether they're 4 years old, whether they're 9 years old. They know what's going on. I think the best thing that we can all do, and what we do at school, is basically getting them to be part of a campaign, or getting them fully involved in doing their bits to look after their environment. We do something called pledges. So each class has to make a pledge each half term to help people, animals, and the environment. And this isn't anything separate. This is all part of our curriculum, and it all like interlinks. And children have to stand up as a class in assembly and say what their pledge is going to be for that half term. and then at the end of that half term, they stand up again and they talk about what they've learned and how their project's gone. Twinning toilets, raising money to twin toilets.
Sorry, let me just let me stay on that one. Twinning toilets.
Yeah, twinning toilets. So
what is that?
Yeah, so you raise money. I think like Oxfam do it. You can raise money, so then you can help support a toilet in like a African. So then they have the sanitary needs and in their village.
Yes, this is a real issue. So I posted recently in a group. I reposted someone else's post. So that there are 2 billion people on Earth that currently don't have access to fresh running water. 2 billion out of 8 billion of us don't have access to running water, which is a huge percentage when you think that you know, a pair of denim jeans takes 10,000 litres of water, you know, in the washing process and the irrigation process. It's just nuts, really, all of the system that we've found ourselves in. Which brings me to, so I'm very much about clothing and fashion and its impact on the environment, which I'm sure you're aware emits billions of tons of CO2 into the atmosphere. School uniform. Oh, so I can tell you've got some thoughts on this. Over to you.
Yeah, school uniform. Obviously, the government brought out a policy to try and make it more affordable for schools to, you know, for parents to be able to afford school uniform, and that, you know, they shouldn't have to have like the school badge on it and so forth. But within that policy, there was nothing about it being environmentally friendly. Lots of schools want to get involved with, but at the moment, there isn't anything out there really. Obviously, you've got, you know, you've got the uniform company that do the recycled plastic, bottles.
Yes.
But for me, yeah, that's still a problem in itself, because you're still recycling the plastic. There isn't anything really like cotton based, like organic cotton based that is out there at the moment for school uniforms to sort of to be produced for schools, let alone be affordable for schools too.
An idea. Hemp, linen and bamboo are rapid growing fibres. They're cellulosic fibres that are great as fabrics. Could you see a day where schools grow their own crops and start some kind of cottage industry and make their uniforms?
Why not? What a great idea. Why not? Why can't?
Should we talk about that? Should we have a conversation about that?
We could have a conversation, because, you know, I can see like academies or, you know, schools as a cluster coming together, and or even, you know, working with a business that has a great pot of land that actually they put aside for a school sort of, and they take a cut of what, you know, what's produced. But yeah, this could be a good entrepreneur sort of business.
But I'm so pleased to hear that you're on this and thinking about school uniforms, because it's a big issue. I don't know what the volumes are, but I know that public spending is the biggest consumer of virgin fabrics in this country. What else is going on in your world? What do you want to share with us?
We've done a huge project recently, been looking how we can get children out into nature, which is really important. And I've done a big project using nature journals.
Okay.
And I didn't realize how much of a big impact it was going to be. Children going out, literally talking 5 and 6 year olds going out and getting to know what the names of the wildflowers and the trees are in their school grounds, but then being able to take that context and be able to name the same wildflowers and trees in the community, or going to a wildflower meadow or a woodland.
Nice.
And yeah, it's been amazing, because
it's a lost art, I think.
Yeah, 100%.
You're obviously doing amazing, groundbreaking, pioneering work with your school. What role are you going to play any role in rolling this out to all schools? Because surely all schools should be doing a similar thing. Are you involved in rolling this out?
Yeah, so I work with my my academy, Matt. There's 11 other schools within my map, and I'm working with them to help support the other schools within our cluster. Also, you know, I'm always helping other schools through my consultancy to help put together strategies for their schools on what I've learned, because obviously, you know, I've learned over time what works, what doesn't work.
Right.
You know, more than happy to help and support schools and educational settings to help them become a, you know, like an eco school.
Or guide them through
Guide them, yeah, exactly. Guide them, yeah, what they do. But I also work with, you know, other industries like media companies, educational businesses, or even just writing blog posts. You know, my first point is to try and help support schools. So our curriculum is based upon the Harmony curriculum, and they're on LinkedIn. Richard Dunn, they do an amazing job.
Can you explain to our viewers what that is, the Harmony curriculum?
Yeah, so the Harmony Project, so it's based upon a book by King Charles, A New Way of Looking at Our World. It's based on 7 principles, and you choose a principle, and that sort of goes into your curriculum, and then you choose like an environmental topic. So, and then you come up with an inquiry question.
Okay.
It's all about inquiry-based learning, where children can then question and keep on asking questions and learning from sort of following their learning. So a good example is one of ours was, is it worth saving the natural wonders of the world? And then the learning goes from there. We looked at the local like natural wonders of Dorset, and children chose top 5 of what they thought were the natural wonders of Dorset. So
I just love this. I love that you're not being prescriptive and issuing rote learning and having them passively receive sort of a log of data to memorize. This sounds so much more engaging and interactive and giving them a choice and a voice. Wonderful.
Yeah, 100%. And they wrote a persuasive letter to the Wildlife Trust, and fair enough to them, they wrote a lovely letter back. So
amazing. And we need to move to a circular economy, a circular way of living. Could you talk about how your schools are approaching this? Is there anything that you're doing that you would call circular?
Good example is our food waste. So all our food goes into this Ryden food waste composter, and literally we make compost for our school grounds, but we also sell the compost to the community for a donation, and we also got a little partnership going with the local town council where we give our compost to them, so then they could use it in their gardens around the town. And more and more schools within our area are getting them on the back of what, you know, we're doing, and it also teaches the children about life cycles, that you know, it's all one continuous circle, and that really then goes really well with the circular economy. Really understand it, and then they can then go on to other things like fast fashion. We did a project about fast fashion, and then a couple of years ago, and then that's when we had our second-hand store going with the PTA. So we got, and that's literally gone wild. Yeah, it's really popular. More popular than people buying new clothes now.
So would you put its success down to the fact that first you were able to effectively educate people as to what the issue was? Did that come first?
Yeah.
Right. I feel strongly that awareness has to come first before the habit change.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that we had this chat. There's so much there that's going to be valuable for people to hear and listen to. I'd love to talk to you some more about school uniform and growing our hemp and linen and all that sort of stuff. We can ideate, maybe, see what's possible.
Yeah, definitely. Let's get it going. Let's find a piece of land and a business that are willing to go into business with us, get the children on it. I'm sure they'll love it. Nice educational project for them.
Okay, we've got a new enterprise. Let's do it. Talk to you again soon.
Cool. No, thank you very much. Thanks for having me on.